Hi, this is Richard Schwarry. We're in Laguna Hills, California with Jerry Attia and Tex Martin. This is June of 2006, and we're here to hear some stories from the great Ronnie Allen. So with that, Ronnie, tell us some stories about Richie.
Well, hi, sports fans. It was some old friends of Richie's, and we go back a long ways. First, I got to make a little short story, tell you who I am, where I come from. I come from Oklahoma, and I was raised on a Carmel. I started playing pool at an early age, and when I graduated from high school, I beat a bookmaker out of 5,000 playing pool and bought a new Chevrolet, and I said, which way's west, boys? So I came out to L.A., and I moved to Glendale. Anyway, I was running around there playing pool, singing Why the Fools Fall in Love, like all teenagers. And they told me about some action down in Santa Ana, the bowling alley. They play on Friday night, Saturday night. So I had a little money, a couple $1,000. I went down there, and everybody was playing. They started on Friday night, played all night, Saturday night. Some of them go home Sunday. Some of them had some pills. They'd stay up till Monday. Anyway, I was running around there beating everybody, and the next weekend, this kid walked up and said, hey, you old man, you want to spot me something? He said, my name's Richie Florence. He looked like he's about 10 years old. I said, you belong in school, man. You don't belong here. Anyway, he won the 8-9, so I give him the 8-9, and I beat him out a few dollars. So I didn't play him for about 3 weeks. I had to go somewhere. I came back. I played Richie. And I was 19. I think he was like 15. Anyway, he completely broke me. Just completely shot me in like a dog. Won all my money, and I hocked a little pinky diamond to him. And this story is great because Richie caused me to meet my wife and have my 3 lovely children. Because here's what happened. I told him I'd come back the next weekend and pick my pinky up and play him some more. I didn't think he could beat me with the 8, So next weekend I went to the bank, got some money. I drove my new Chevrolet out there. I'm waiting around. I said, hey, where's that kid Richie? They said, oh, he went to San Francisco. Boy, I was a hot sucker. I drove 100 miles an hour back, got all my clothes, and Glendale, and I drove up to San Francisco, and I got up there I'll never forget, a Friday night, and I walked in this pool room. I'd never been in anything with the Oklahoma pool rooms, a few tables. I walked upstairs, this beautiful chandeliers and 48 tables and snooker tables at a place called Cochran's Billiards. The guy, Dick Cochran, owned it, and I looked around there, man, I was amazed. Everyone gambling, the joint was busy, 24-hour joint. San Francisco in the 60s probably was, to me, one of the most fun places, beautiful places in the world. Anyway, I walk up there and ask somebody, they see this kid, I say, he looks like he's about 8 years old or something, and they said, well, there's some kid asleep back there underneath the pool table. So I went back there, there's Richie. He's knocked out underneath the table, so I got him up, I come over there, and I cussed him out a little bit, and now I felt sorry for him. I said, well, do you have my ring? He said, yeah. He said, well, I'm dead broke. I'm so happy to see you. And so him and I made friends right there. I give him $1,000, and I said, no, I'm taking 200 back for the trip up here. So I only give him $800. So we went and got a motel next morning. I made him tell me the story. I said, well, how'd you get broke? What'd you do? He said, I went to San Jose, and he said, I'd played a guy down there about, I don't know, he looked like 25 or something to me. He said, one pocket. And he said, I never played one pocket before. He said, he gave me 2 balls, so I played him. He said, we were really gambling high, and he said, it just completely broke me. I said, really? I said, this guy, was everybody betting? He said, everybody in the joint was betting. So I got Richie in the car, and I said, let's go back to San Jose. So we walked in there, I'll never forget it. This guy's name was, I nicknamed him San Jose Dick. His name was Dick McMorrin. And he was about 22. So I walked up to Dick and had Richie right there. I said, hey, I want you to give my brother back his money. What do you mean robbing this kid out of his money? I said, I ought to call the police on you. He said, what are you talking about? He come in here hustling pool. I said, I don't want to hear that bullshit. Give him back his money. He said, well, what do you want to do? You play pool too? You're his brother. And I said, well, I don't even know. What were y'all playing? He said, one pocket, a game called one pocket. I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. I said, well, I gamble on pool. I said, well, how was you playing him? He said, I was giving him 2 balls. I said, well, you want to give me 3 balls, I'll play you some. He said, well, get your ass up there. He said, what do you want to play for, 50? I said, I want to play some for 1,000 a game. This is 1961, folks. You think they gamble today? I was on the road by myself. I pulled out my money. I said, here. I counted it out. The whole pool started going crazy, and they put their money in. Anyway, when Richie and I left, we couldn't stuff any more money in our pockets. We had the whole town broke. And on the way back to San Francisco, I got pulled over because I had like 14 parking tickets out that I hadn't paid. And I said, oh, my God. The sheriff arrested me. He made Richie sit on the hood of my car, and he drove me back to San Jose, and I've got all this money. I think he's going to think I robbed a bank or something. You know what I mean? He said, do you have $42 to pay these fines? And I said, oh, I think so. So I got there, and I reached in and pulled out 5 or 10 at a time, make sure I don't get 100. Anyway, I said, you want to give me a ride? He said, get your own ride. No, I went back, got Richie. The first time I met Richie is I played him over there and then there. So I didn't see Richie. He went back home. I whacked the money up with him. I took a little of the best of it, but cause I did all the playing. But I sent Richie back home, and I didn't see him for a few years. But what happened was I stayed in San Francisco. I fell in love with San Francisco, and there was a famous bar there called Lefty Old Duels, and some pool player, Marvin Henderson, told me, he said, boy, there's a beautiful Norwegian girl down there. We all been trying to get her to go out. I said, maybe she'll go out with you. So I went down there every day for about 2 weeks. Anyway, long story short, that's how I met my wife. I married 32 years, Norwegian girl. And I married her and had 3 lovely children with her. And I thank Richie Florence for that, because they're all wonderful children, and she's a great gal. So I didn't see Richie anymore for, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 years. And the next time I seen him, we played even. I didn't give him the 8-9 no more. And I don't know, I think we broke about even. And then I kind of went my way and he went his way. You know, I raised my family. I wasn't around Richie for a long time. And then I heard he was playing down in Torrance or something. And I went down there and he started playing one pocket. I met his mother and we become pretty close friends, but we still gambled. I did that with almost everybody. Even though I was friends with them, I'd play on pool for money. You know, and we never leave anybody broke. You always give a guy a gapper to go home with. But that's about when Johnson City started, and the first tournaments they ever had, and I started going back there. I think Richie come back there like 2 times. He got broke both times. He wasn't a solid player yet, you know, a road player yet. But anyway, about 3 or 4 years later, I'd been going to Mobile, Alabama, and there was a guy down there called Cleo Vaughn. And Cleo is one of those guys that a real bookmaker. And when he played pool, he'd play like high, you know, at least 300 a game. And he would never quit. I mean, he'd lose like 40, 50 games in the 9-ball. It was unbelievable. Today, people lose 2 games and they quit. I don't know what happened. But anyway, I grabbed Richie Florence. And we went down to Mobile, and we beat everybody on the way down there. He had a new Cadillac. We took his Cadillac and went down there. And my wife and kids went on vacation to La Crosse, Wisconsin, where her family's from. And we were in Johnson City, right below St. Louis. So we stopped by there and tried to play Pats, Minnesota Pats. He lived about 60 miles from there, and I used to give him 2 balls, 9-7, play 300 a game. And Pats didn't want to play, so we went to Mobile. Anyway, Richie played the greatest 9-ball I've ever seen anybody play there in my life, playing Cleo. He played Cleo a game where Richie gets 1 pocket and Cleo gets 5, playing 9-ball. The only place Richie can make his ball is in 1 pocket, the 9-ball. And I didn't think he could win at the game, but they got to playing high 1,000 a game, 2,000 a game. They played about 3 days, and Richie finally brought him to his knees, and I swear, fans, the last 12 hours, he never missed a ball. Soaking wet table. 2,000 games, he never missed a ball. We completely broke Cleo. And in fact, I had to loan him 10,000, Cleo, to open up the next day. Richie almost killed me. He said, what do you mean loaning our money out? I said, this guy's okay, man. So we come the next day, and Cleo give us our money. And I'll never forget this. We got Richie's Cadillac out in front of the pool, and we brought our money out. He said, listen, you 2 guys, He said, just going down the road, I like both of you. He said, let Ronnie play on the one pocket and you play on the 9 ball and you'll break everybody in the United States. Now, that's the last thing he said. So what's so funny about that crack is we now take off to Johnson City, which is about 500-600 miles, and I call my family, tell them to catch a train or something down there, meet me there. We're going to hang around and try to play fast for about a week, then I've got to go take the kids back to school. So we get to Johnson City, and I call Pat, and he said, yeah, I'll play some 9-7. So I told Richie, I said, listen, he's never beat me 9-7. A lot of fun playing the guy. None of the pool houses was around, just, they were closed for the season. And so, anyway, beautiful place they called the Show Bar where they had all the tournaments. At the only 24-hour nightclub, the guy that had the tournaments, George Jasko, he was the sheriff, the local bookmaker. He was head of the alcoholic beverage control for that area and had the only 24-hour license to have a nightclub. So he was the one that had all the tournaments back then. Yeah, true story. And so now we're there, and George loved me. George, he loved me like his own son, So I called Pat, so we decided to play there. Pat don't want nobody around. If he loses, he don't want anybody around. So just me, Richie, George, and Pat. Now, I go in the barn and start bullshit with George about, the next tournament coming up in September and had a few drinks. I come back in the show bar and from the show bar into the tournament room, and I want to get my cue. I come in, Richie's playing pass. I said, Richie, were you practicing or something or what? You warming him up for me? He said, no, we're playing 600 a game. I called him offside. I said, what are you doing, Richie? I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm giving him 8-7, playing one play. I said, Richie, I don't think you can win at that. I said, man, I'm playing the best pool in the world, and I've got my hands full 9-7. I just grind out a few games. He says, don't worry about it. I'm playing the best pool I've played in my life. Down. I couldn't take the cue stick out of his hand. He overruled me. So he said, you're in or out? I said, okay, I'll take a piece of it. So they're playing there, and he beat me by about 3,000 the first night. Richie rests up, come back in, played again. I told him, ask to change the game. He didn't want to hear it. Come in, lose 5,000. Come back, lose 6,000. I said, Richie, now my family show up. I said, Richie, you're not going to bust me at this stupid-ass game. You can't play a lick of one pocket. I'm over there on the side, only guy in the room, sitting there drinking, watching Richie miss the right shot. Never miss a ball, but he never shoots the right shot. And I'm dying. You know what I mean? And then I look up there, and Minnesota Fast reaches over, and these are the old days where you put the balls at the back of the table in a rack, And Richie had 4 and Fast had 2, right? And I turned around, got my drink, took a sip up and turned back around. No one shot. Now the score is 3-3. Fast negative the ball. So I went on, I grabbed Richie. I said, listen, I don't mind losing my money, you know what I mean? And I don't mind betting on you. I said, but I don't think you beat him 8-7. I know goddamn well you can't give him 9-6. He said, what are you talking about? I said, well, he just stole the ball from me. Now he goes to 6 and you go to 9. I said, I know you can't give him 9-6. So he run somebody out of the room. You know who it was? Me. He told me to get out of the room. So I cut out right there anyway. Richie went ahead and blowed 40-some-odd thousand bets. And the story got out all over the country. By the time we got back to California, all that old Ronnie Allen, that dirty, rotten son of a bitch, he steered Richie down there and put him with Pats and bet on Pats, and that was the story got out. It was just complete opposite. I tried everything in the world not to give him to play. Anyway, we finally got through, and I'll be a guy about 12,000 on a golf course and give Richie half of that. So anyway, we're still top money for the trip, and I got to leave. My family's got to get home. I think they already started school. Already started. Anyway, I looked at Richie and I said, see you in a few years, man. I said, I got to go raise my family. I said, you know something? Just hit me what Cleo said. You played the 9 ball and let Ronnie play the 1 pocket. And so I said, the very first stop we made, you played the 1 pocket and broke us. So anyway, that's couple of those stories how I met Richie then. And can we take a break right here for a minute?
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Did you have 40 grand cash with you guys?
Yeah.